Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to our September 27th agenda meeting to set our agenda for our Monday, October 3rd Board of Directors meeting. So just to remind everyone, we're meeting on Monday, October 3rd because National Night Out is on Tuesday, October 4th. So to begin, we'll have a presentation on our National Night Out update. James, who is going to give that to us?
Mr. Turner.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Hines, members of the board. We will be hosting the National Night Out event on October 4th. The event started in 1984. It's administered by the National Association of Town Watches. Excuse me. This will be, at least over 30 years of close to 30 years at City of Little Rock, at least since the late 1980s, that we've hosted the event. Next slide. As you know, the event is it's a partnership with the community and police to strengthen neighborhoods and their partnership with local police. The City of Little Rock has done that. Also, LR Fire Department has also participated. Next slide. The support system, our neighborhood associations are heavily involved, community-oriented police. Also, we have nonprofit organizations and others that participate, handing out information to citizens. As you can see, we've had over 2,000 volunteers that participate annually. Here's an example of a group that has worked with us on National Night Out. The next few slides are some photos that have been taken over the years. We have 15 events that the City of Little Rock is sponsoring, and then there are 6 others that will be held around the City of Little Rock. Our neighborhood resource specialists work with their areas to put together the National Night Out event. They've been working hard this year for another successful year. The listing here are the ones that the City of Little Rock is sponsoring. Next. Any questions?
I have no questions. Director Adcock? Sorry.
This list is really not readable. Are we putting a better list on there so people can read it, please?
Yeah, I've sent out a list, a larger print, actual printed copy that should go out to you guys in the pony.
But I'm talking about for the citizens watching this TV. Will there be a list on the television that they can read?
Yeah, I
Because
sent
this
one
list
to
is
Ms.
not-
Godwin that she'll probably post, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And make sure you include the 6 that was not on the original
They've been added.
list. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Adcock. Director Wright?
Yes.
Oh, he's not wanting to approve.
Hit my name.
It's froze up.
There it goes. Okay, Victor, on the John Barrow Neighborhood Association, you said, it says West Central Community Center, Colonel Glenn and Barrow Road entrance. That entrance is not open yet.
Yeah, that's the one that the facilitator, resource specialist gave us. We can amend that.
They're gonna have to enter from the rear. He and I had already discussed that, and unless something's been told different,
I'll double check.
because it wasn't open today, and I don't think it's gonna be open because they're putting in a mounting for the electronic sign. So I'm pretty sure that nothing's been turned over to the city yet, so it would be better if people entered from Boyd Street.
Okay.
There's ample parking back there. That's not the issue. It's just they need to enter from that way.
Okay,
Go
I'll
down
make a note.
42nd Street, make a right on Boyd, follow it to 43rd, and you go right into the back of the park.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Any other questions? All right. Thank you. Well, next we'll have go to our consent agenda, items 1 through 5. Any questions on those?
Are we gonna, wasn't there something else we had?
No, the Fire Prevention Week is next week. Consent agenda items 1 through 5. Any questions? Director Wyrick? Well, bear with me.
Move on to 6.
We can.
Okay.
Items 6 through 8.
Could I have a report on item 6 from planning, please?
Tony?
Director Wyrick, Vice Mayor Hines, members of the board. Item 6 is a request to rezone property that is outside the city limits but within our extraterritorial zoning jurisdiction. We've identified it as the 15,500 block of Lawson Road, and the request is to rezone, I think it's less than a half an acre total, from R2 single family to M mining. Mr. Carter, if we can go to the zoning map. As you can see, Lawson Road is there in kind of in the middle of the graphic. And then there is a large area of mining zoning already in place, and those two areas highlighted are being requested to, for rezoning to M mining. Again, it's a total less than half an acre.
Okay. How do you get to that location?
I guess with heavy equipment, I'm not sure.
Oh, I could have said that one. S- So, what I'm thinking is, we had an issue in the same area come up, I don't know, a few years back, maybe to turn this into mining or open up some more mining. And we had some neighborhood complaints or maybe concerns about the number of trucks and all that kind of stuff coming through this area. When this went through the planning commission, did we have anybody that objected to it?
Director Wyrick, it was on the consent agenda.
Okay.
So-
Okay, so maybe all the things that we worried about happening the first time around has not happened, but John, do you remember, didn't we ask for some concessions to help with the neighborhood down there? And their concern was the number of trucks that would be going in and out of there and the dust and those kinds of things. Is that what you remember? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, maybe they're doing this for future expansion, because I really don't see a road that goes there. I guess this Hugh Taylor Road is the main entrance to that mining area,
Yes.
because I see a little curly road back over here on the right-hand side. Do you know what that road is?
I don't think it's a public right-of-way. But again, this operation's been in place for a number of years. I mean, this area has got I-1 zoning, I-3 zoning along Lawson, and then this, and I-2 on the south side of Lawson, and then this mining. So, again, they're just adding these small areas. And the truck traffic, I think, is probably going east when it leaves east on Lawson Road to get to the interstate, I-430.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Director Wright?
Y'all wanted to,
I would like to speak on the same one that BJ was just on.
Okay. Go ahead.
Director Wyrick, I think that one of the problems was they was requesting another drive in and out.
That's
And,
true.
and we didn't want them to have another drive. We wanted them to use that one drive there. but those two neighborhood associations was concerned. Tony, can you check on that and see if they both was notified that this is on the agenda?
According to the write-up, Southwest Little Rock United for Progress and citizens of West Placid County were notified.
Okay, would you get a notice out to Plantation Acres and also to Crystal Valley? Because both of them was involved with it last time, and the trucks coming out, they was wanting two streets coming out, and we all compromised to one street coming out.
I remember that now.
All right, Director Wright. I'm sorry, there we go.
Okay. Number 7 and number 8, Tony, I want to make sure I'm clear on this. Is this daycare going to be located at that church on 32nd Street across from Hamilton?
Yes, Director Wright, the northeast corner of 32nd and Bryant, an existing church, and the daycare will use approximately 1,500 square feet, as noted on the graphic in front of you, the crosshatched area.
Okay. So it did not pass at the Planning Commission?
It did not pass at the Planning Commission. Staff is now recommending approval of the waiver. We went and reviewed it some more, and because of the level of the daycare, which is up to only, I think, 25 infants, we feel that the traffic generated from this additional use will be minimal. So
Okay.
we're in support of the waiver of the right-of-way dedication for both streets.
Okay. Because without that, they wouldn't have any parking there at that church. There's no way to park on the street, there's no way to park on the side or in the rear. So, okay. Now, number 8, were there any objections from the neighborhood associations to the duplexes?
Director Wright, I don't know, there were 2 individuals that spoke in opposition. I don't know if they were from a particular neighborhood association, but there were, yes, two objectors.
Excuse me, did they specify why they objected?
The
I have
min-
not heard from anyone.
The minute record makes reference to, well, possible impacts, maybe noise from these duplexes, additional traffic. I think one of the individuals made reference to the condition of the streets in the neighborhood. I mean, they're narrow streets, but they have been overlaid.
Yes, and they handle the traffic. There's not that much traffic, then you're just talking about what, with the one duplex or just 2?
And there are 2 lots being considered, and they'd be, if approved, a duplex on each lot.
Okay.
Lance?
So it could be a house on each lot too, so,
Right, and there, on one lot, there's a boarded, single-family residence, and on the southern lot, there's a small church that's vacant at this time.
and I know that church has been wanting to sell that property for a long time. Okay, no one has contacted me saying that they had any objections, but I did hear that that you all had received something. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Director Wyrick.
Okay. Tony, on the same topic, didn't we approve some additional duplexes on this street a while back?
There, if,
Maybe up closer to West 18th Street?
there, Mr. Carter, if we can go to the zoning map, you'll see R4 is 2-family or duplex zoning, so there, R4 is scattered throughout
That area.
the area. I think the most recent one was probably to R4 zoning to the south on Wilson. That large area of, at 22nd and Wilson, that's been in place for a number of years. Probably at Perry and 22nd is more recent. So there have been some additional R4s added, rezoned in this area.
Okay, thank you.
For the record, there are a number of duplexes in that area. The whole area was basically run down, a lot of junk trailers that I've had staff go out and inspect. They required them to be moved. It was really, really, really bad over there. Matter of fact, I told Mr. Moore, this is a slum. So it's amazing that anybody would want to build, but this particular developer has cleaned that area up. And I'm quite pleased with what I see over there now, because at first, you had junk cars that had been sitting there for 20 years and stuff piled in the back of them, old washing machines out beside the street, just whatever you can think of was there. It didn't even seem like it was in the city of Little Rock.
Yeah, I just recalled that we were maybe going in that direction with duplexes in that
Yeah.
area.
And I'm liking that, because that's, in the sense, it's better than the multifamily, and it's affordable housing, and it gives people adequate housing at a market level that's affordable. So I'm very pleased with that.
Thank you. Any other questions on the agenda? I have three things I'd like to give everybody's attention to. We did not have the resolutions ready to put them on the agenda today, so they will be coming to us this weekend and will be requested to be added as modifications. I think all three deal with the fire department. One is a resolution to authorize city manager to enter into a contract with EVS Mid-South to contract for the purchase of firefighting protective coats and pants for the fire department. It's a one-year contract. I think the total bid was $185,980 for 80 sets of PBI coats and pants to be awarded to this contractor.
Is that turnouts?
It's turnouts.
Okay,
Yeah. Hey,
okay.
not
What?
not the second set.
Well, you get one. Let's get one. One after the next.
The second resolution will be one, the Little Rock Fire Department's requesting approval to authorize city manager to enter a contract with EVS Mid-South for the purchase of self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCUBA. That is a contract in the amount of $1.71 million. It will come from the 2016 short-term financing. And the final resolution for the fire department authorizes the city manager to execute an agreement with NSC Inc. to truss roof and related work at Fire Station Number 7, and that contract is for a total amount of $73,450. The write-ups and resolutions will be in our
I have a
ponies
question.
over the weekend. Go ahead, Director Adcock.
Where's the location of that fire station?
Station 7. UAMS.
Good, thank you.
All right. And so we'll do that and add those as modifications when we get here Monday for our meeting. Any other questions or comments from the board? Director Adcock raised her
Yes, I
hand.
would like to have a report on the mobile home inspections. We recently went to having interior inspections, and I would like to know how those are going, please.
Director Wright?
Overlayments, when someone cuts into the street and patches, do they have to get a permit from us to cut into that street?
They do. Mr. Honeywell?
John, my concern is Barrow Road across from the new Riverfront detail, and someone has cut into the street and the patch has already failed.
Yes, ma'am. Is that the one that you emailed us? Was that
I emailed Mr. Moore.
yesterday, or was that
Uh-huh.
today? Today. That is one, in that particular instance, they did not get a permit. That was Central Arkansas Water. They had actually a water line break there. So when they have an emergency situation, they go out, cut the road as necessary to do that. That's a temporary patch that's on that road right now. They have a contractor that will be coming back to fix that properly according to our requirements.
Okay,
So
so
that's not the finished product that's out there now.
So you know, good, because people are complaining to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we just got that work done, and this is what we were fearing, that soon as we fix a street, had somebody come and cut into it, and then the patch fails.
Right, and we have varying degrees of, depending on when a road has been resurfaced, we have varying degrees of requirements of what they're required to do to fix that. If it's something that's recently been overlaid, like that section of Barrow, then they're required to do much more extensive work to fix it versus a
Me
road
too.
that's really, really old. There's some differences in how they're required to do
I
it.
would-
But
I
that
would-
one will be pretty pretty extensive what they're required to do. to
Thank
make it
you,
work.
because the
You're welcome.
people, we wait a long time to get that done.
Yes, ma'am.
John, don't run away. That kind of segues into a question I got. So, we just did an overlay on Rawling Road, the older section of it. And then within several weeks, we had a huge pot. I mean, so did we go out as staff or did the contractor come out and do that? I mean, and I noticed when they did the full grind, they ground it past I mean, sometimes they were down to the gravel road bed.
Sure.
When they did that. So how's that handled in a situation where we got a fresh overlay that comes up like that?
In that instance, I think because of the location and the amount of traffic that's on that road, our staff went out and fixed it because it was something that needed to be done immediately to
Okay.
prevent any other issues with people driving on the road.
Right.
Typically, that's something, if it's something where it's not under that amount of traffic, we would require that developer or contractor to go out and fix that
Okay,
completely.
super. I just wanted to clarify because I appreciate y'all getting out there. It was almost remnants of. I got lots of
The
calls. I mean,
snowstorm- the
the one
snowstorm
that took
from
out
way
a bunch
back.
of car rims
Right.
earlier this year while we were waiting on that to get done. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Director Compeers. Let me get you on. There we go.
The, I just got from Bryant Griffin, the letter that the mayor has been working on to send to the congressional delegations for each of us to sign. So, it's right here. Anybody that'd like to come by and put their name on these 6 letters, I'm sure we would all appreciate it, because if we don't get that $3 million or $4 million each year, we're gonna be, the smartest person here is gonna be Brad, because he's not gonna have to put up with it. I mean, this is, you know.
Can you
get-
pass them
get-
down?
What?
Can you pass them down? We can
Yeah,
sign them while before we leave?
I'll sign it and I'll pass them.
Any other questions or comments?
For, Mr. Jones, the grass at, Rock Creek Bridge, along 36th Street, it's still not cut,
Okay,
Mr. Honeywell.
we'll address it.
Do I need to get a private contract from you to get this area cut and cleaned? Okay. Thank you.
I have one too.
All right, BJ.
One also. Chateau Drive and Stagecoach Road. It appears that one of the lots has been cut and the other one hasn't been cut, and I've been getting beat up on a daily basis, wanting to know when we're coming to do that. The other issue they're beating me up about is, why do they always have to call? You know, when it gets too high, why can't we address it before it gets too high? And it takes too long for code enforcement to process it. I know we talked about this last week or the week before last, and I know there's a 7-day notice that has to be taken care of, but
Lance?
I know the growing season is almost over this year, yay. I'm excited about that. But maybe we can figure out, I know we've worked on this for years, but maybe we can figure out a way, if we've got property owners that just refuse to take care of their grass, if there's a way that we can address that quicker than what we're able to do.
We'll look at that. I think part of it is a policy that we have to, that's adopted by this board,
Yeah.
that we follow. There are 2 parcels out there. One of them, the owners have a contract with someone to mow their yard, mow that parcel. They said they would be doing it in October, in early October, so
But I think one of them has been mowed and the other one hasn't, and I'm assuming that it's us
okay,
that hasn't mowed it.
we'll look at that.
Thank you.
Director Adcock?
Mr. Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
We have an ordinance that says if you residential, we'll give you a notice once a year. And after that, we don't give you a notice, we just go in and do something. Why can't we do that on commercial?
Mr. Mann, would you like to address that?
A statute on that, Director Adcock, that I can get for you and send you that addresses what we do.
I know what we do, we just wait till a complaint. But if we're doing it residential one way, why can't we then change our ordinance to do commercial the same way?
I will get back to you on that if I may, get you some information.
Okay, thank you. Another thing is we have all of these real estate companies that has their sign on property, and the grass is about as tall as the sign, and it looks like that we could do something that if you have your name on the property, that you're required to keep it clean. Thank you.
Along that same vein, Mr., what's his name? Man, if there's a real estate sign is in the yard and they've pulled out stuff from the house and piled it on the curb, can we not make them clean that up?
Is this one, sorry. Is this something that they've just piled up by a sign and they've not called 311, or is something 311 would not pick up?
I don't know. I turned it into code enforcement
Okay.
to check the system. And I said I was gonna bring it up at the board meeting to see if that's not something we can look into.
Okay.
That if they have a listing on this property, that they're required to make sure that it's cleaned and cut.
I will check into that too for you, Director Wright.
Okay, this one's on not Cobb Street, Potter Street. But I turned it into code enforcement. West Central Resource Center.
Director Hendricks, let me try to get you on here. The controller is not wanting to cooperate
There we
today.
go. Thanks. I would like for Mr. Jones to check. I did give the address to Victor, and it has to do with a constituent of mine who has constantly been appearing before Judge Lever, yes. And Victor said he couldn't find anything. I don't know why this man would call me if
Vance,
he's
can you all give
continuing
us a
going to
copy of
court
this,
because of
please?
a house. The house to my
Asking if you'll give us a copy, please.
concern, it looks good from the outside. He said
This pen is really good. Would you like to?
5,000. I don't know what
Was that the email you sent today? I'll look at that address. We'll check that out.
Victor said Victor was looking at 1920. It is 1900. Please check that because he is really upset. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Director Hendricks. If that's all, we'll adjourn.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.